It's a gamble every day, that's just how we live. That's just how we live. That's just how we live. Some things out of control. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's a gamble every day, that's just how we live. That's just how we live. That's just how we live. Some things out of control. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Good. Welcome to another edition of the Major Music Lounge podcast. It's your host, Dee Dot. And today's guest is going to be Ruqone. Ruqone's been on here quite a few times, producer based out of Chicago. And the reason that Ruqone has returned to the Major Music Lounge podcast, we're going to discuss our latest release, which is titled At a Different Speed Part 2. If you remember what it was, like 2022, we came out with At a Different Speed, the original release. And we actually started working together in 2021. So it started from a song that was titled Out of Place on the album that I came out with in that year called The Mixer. And we just kind of kept on working from there. So here we are with At a Different Speed Part 2. And we're just going to chop it up about, how we linked up creatively on this. And we actually started working on this for kind of about almost a year ago. And I'm just glad that we got a chance to get it out. And I think it's probably like one of my best albums that I've released. I'll hold this one dear to me. I think as an artist, just seeing some different things creatively, which we'll get into as well. So if this is your first time tuning into the Major Music Lounge podcast, I'd like to talk to other music creators about their journey creating music, or maybe they had a new release like Ruqone and myself. And if you're interested in getting on the Major Music Lounge podcast, hit me up on any one of my socials at D._Major Music. That's actually going to be Instagram. It's going to be TikTok as well as Threads. It's going to be slightly different on X, and it's going to be D.MME on X. And if you like this episode of the Major Music Lounge podcast, consider hitting the subscribe button and hit the like button while you're here and leave a comment. And, most of all, go get the album At a Different Speed Part 2. It's available to stream on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, whatever platform you use. And then you could also purchase via iTunes. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of the Major Music Lounge podcast. We're joined by the homie straight out of Chi-Town, Ruqone, back to discuss our new project At a Different Speed 2. Go get it in stores, any platform, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music at. But, what's good, my brother?
Yo, what's happening, man? I'm pretty good, bro. How about yourself?
Oh, man, just excited to kind of discuss this album and, catch up with
Yeah.
you as well, because I think it's been quite a while, maybe earlier this year. Yeah, you and Ezekiel were on, I think maybe April or May, somewhere
Yep,
around
about
then.
April.
Yeah.
About April, yep.
And that was a fire project. And you've been working hard through 2024. And anything else you got going on? Well, first and foremost, how you been, personally?
Man, personally, man, everything's good. People around me, my loved ones, they're doing good. You know what I'm saying? Just thankful and blessed to see another day above ground, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everything's good. I can't complain. How you feeling though, man?
Yeah, man. Much, much better. I think like the last time, in fact, that we talked, I was probably almost fully recovered.
Mhm.
And now I'm 100%, no more
That's what's up.
appointments, back to working out. I no restrictions or anything. And
What's up?
just glad that part, is behind me, man. And other than that, all my people doing good as well. And yeah, man, just trying to end 2024 on a really good note.
Man, congratulations, man. I'm glad you're feeling better though, for real.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, man. And I had actually the night I went to the Texas Rangers game, I thought about you. I was just sitting there in the stands, and I was
Playing
like,
those bum ass White Sox too.
and I was like, I wonder if he watching this on TV. And
Man, I've
man,
been purposefully avoiding them. Like there was a thing some people had the other night out here at the Sox game, and I decided not to go. Man, I can't get them no money, man. They too bad. They're like historically bad this year, so
man,
I can't give them my hard-earned money.
that's how, I almost felt that way like about my Pistons last year. Like I bought those tickets way ahead of time, not knowing they would have been as bad as they were. And I still had to go through and go to the game. They won actually when it came to Dallas, but you know, uh, but
That's
yeah,
wild considering how good Dallas was last year too. That's wild that happened.
yeah, man. It
Yeah.
was I was just glad at least I got that moment of joy in the crowd. Man. So, kind of talking about the project, like what was your thought with a lot of the beats? Because like it definitely has a different feel. I think it has a very gritty hip hop feel with a lot of the tracks on here. But like when you were creating these, and you even like, because I remember you had sent an initial pack to me, and I started recording a few songs, but like you sent another pack after a while. I think because we had talked, I took a little break for a couple
hmm
of months, and then I said send me some new stuff, and like once I heard the first track, I think it might have even been It Is What It Is. Maybe it was the first one that I did. But once I did that one, it was just kind of off to the races from there. So like what was your thought process behind, the beats that you sent? Like how did you really, because I know you said sometimes you kind of think about how I how I flow, but like how did you see these beats fitting me?
Well, I think I was looking actually at those first two stashes of folders of beats that I sent you earlier as well, and I was like comparing them to like the beats we got on this project. And I think my goal with all three, like either subconsciously or knowing, actively knowing, was to try to get a different sound from the first project we did. I didn't want the beats to sound like, but what wound up happening is since I do try to cater to your flow, like a lot of you, like people are gonna notice, like you gotta have a sharp ear, but like a lot of the drum patterns are similar to some of the stuff that we've done from our older stuff. But that was on purpose, I feel like, because I feel like while I switched up the type of samples like I was using for the beats I gave you, like these are definitely more like soulful, like you said, gritty type of samples. I wanted to keep those drums either similar or get rid of drums completely because I still want to maintain the essence and I can inspire you. I feel like the drum patterns I use to me get inspiring songs from you. Like the single that was just out recently for us, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I feel like it has a similar type of bounce to at a different speed, the single from our first album, but the sample pattern, the way I did and chopped it up, everything's completely different. So like I said, you gotta have a real trained ear to hear, so you gotta be like one of us, like a producer or somebody like that, to really get that little nuance similarity. But
Yeah.
I really want to have that sample different to kind of, like I said, inspire you, you know what I'm saying? But keep something in there that would want to write to it. So that was my goal. Like have something bouncy but still different at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of, now that you say that, that's kind of the vibe I got when you talked about Out of Place and then It Is What It Is, kind of almost having a similar vibe, and that's kind of what I felt as well. Now, like, what would you say out of all the tracks that we've done was probably your favorite, or maybe even top three on the album that I did?
On this album here,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go, man. You know what really, like listening last night, like I like the emotion that Crossroads gives. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like something relationship based. I don't know how much facts are in that song, but it sounds like it was heartfelt, like something that was really bothering you on the inside that you needed to express. So I felt that, you know what I'm saying? You made me feel that song with what you were, saying on the microphone. So I'm gonna say Crossroads is like so far ahead, number one. They like ran it high from the rest, ran it hid from the rest of the pack. And that's not saying nothing bad about any of the other songs, just that song spoke to me personally, you know what I'm saying? So I really, really, I love Crossroads. That might be one of the best songs we've done, period, since we worked together. Personally, it's definitely in the top three of that. But as far as this album is number one, I'm gonna go number two. Uh, I like Standing on Business because personally, from what I did, I like the fact that it's drumless, but it still has a bounce to it, kind of like with the Congo thing I put in there. So it's not all the way drumless. I use like a percussion kind of Congo thing in there. And I like your flow on that beat, you know what I'm saying? Because that was something else, like I said earlier, I want to kind of challenge you with like see how you would sound with drumless beats, to see how that would come off. And it sounds really, really dope. Like Standing on Business is really dope. We got another one on there that's drumless called What a Shame. And is there a third drumless beat on there? I can't remember off the top of my head. But definitely those two are. But Standing on Business, I would say second. And third, see, it's once we get to three, like all of them start sounding really, really good to me. So it's
Yeah.
hard to pick one. But I guess I would go Let It Burn, and probably for a really stereotypical reason. Because, with you being a Southern brother, you know what I'm saying? I kind of channel my inner Pimp C with that beat, with making that beat, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I wanted to have a real kind of like UGK sounding when I was making it. And like as soon as I made it, I knew that was going to you. As soon as it was done, I'm like, this is going to die. Man, I went like full UGK 96 Riding Dirty with that. You know what I'm saying? I had the church organ in it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just the plucking guitar strings in it. That's really, 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 I really went full in on that route. So I like the way that beat turned out. I like you have a different type of flow with that song as well, too, with that beat. And that's what really made that come together. So Let It Burn is really funky. I think people are going to gravitate personally towards that one more than any other song on there.
Yeah, yeah, man. I could see that. Like the Let It Burn, I had to think about I wanted to come with a different delivery. Like, I don't know, because I wrote to it maybe two different times and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't satisfied with the flow on it. And then it was just this one day I just caught a vibe to it and I was like, yeah, that's it. And I ended up doing the song like, afternoon, maybe within 3 hours. And yeah, even the hook and standing on business as well. That's one of my favorites. I like One of a Kind. That beat was smooth. That beat was
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
smooth. And yeah, Crossroads, like I think I could definitely see like a lot of people maybe relating to some of the stuff in it. Like
Mhm.
um yeah, that one I decided to go with no hook. I just went straight through. And
And I never would have thought that beat would turn into a song like that. I didn't visualize that, but listening to it, it fit perfectly. You know what I'm saying? But like as I was making that beat and finishing it up, I didn't think like it would be something like that. But that just goes to show how people hear music differently. And I never would have ever thought anybody did that type of song to that beat. You know.
yeah, yeah. When you were kind of right though, like it was something that I wanted to get off my chest for a while. And like I never I just kind of it was something that I started typing in my notes and I just kept going. And I was
Mm.
like, okay, where is this going? And that was another one I kind of just did in one afternoon as well. I did that one, yeah, 2 16s and said, no hook. And I think I left kind of that or right when the drop happens, yeah, started flowing right then and there.
Yeah, yeah, man. And like you went from the start of the beat to the very end of that mug too. So that's what I think, like I said, with that and the emotion you were rapping with and the content, like I said, to me, that's the standout of the album, like Head and Shoulders. And that's not saying nothing bad. I mean, we made the beats on the project, so I'm not going to say anything bad about none of the songs, but that one's just so far ahead of all the rest of the songs, in my opinion. I love it. It's a great song, dude.
Man,
Salute you for that, man.
I
For real.
appreciate, man. I think like this album collectively is for me, it kind of gave people a different side of me, you know, to some degree. Because if you go and listen to some of my other stuff, like you could even make like, well, even going back to my catalog in terms of like relationship songs, it's a lot of like, I guess, good feeling vibes that I might have
Hmm.
in some of these other songs. But like, I guess this kind of shows in some way a different perspective than I've shown on some of these other records. And you know, I kind of get back on some political rap a little bit on this as well.
Hmm.
And I felt like, you know, even though some things changed since I recorded that project, but I just about our political system, I feel like basically both wings, you know, are broken wings. Like I
Yeah,
just I don't feel comfortable giving my vote, and I don't want to get too political on the air, but you know,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not comfortable just saying voting for the lesser evils, in other words. And
No,
you
no,
know,
I get that. I get that.
and that's what this kind of expresses, and just how, you know, we I felt some of the things that went on, the stuff with Kanye, I felt a lot of people backpedaled on from years ago. And, you know, that's what kind of inspired me to go political a little bit on this album. Um, Outside of that, man,
Let me ask you though, bro, like
yeah.
to kind of flip that question on you. Like, I don't know. I sent, like you said, pretty much 3 folders worth of beats over like the last maybe what 6 months before you started recording. Like, what made you decide to settle on these beats? Like, what made this particular group of beats stand out as compared to like some of the other stuff?
Um, I don't, I think it was more like me personally, like, I think from a mental space, a lot of the stuff that I was kind of going through behind the scenes creatively at that time, like I just had nothing up here. And
Mm,
like I felt like once I got that other pack of beats, like I felt some inspiration, kind of like you were saying earlier. Like you wanted to make me feel inspired with a lot of the tracks that you sent. And I'd actually like, I think I recorded a song, maybe a half of another in that first pack of beats. And that was probably around August, maybe September of last year. And then like October, actually, that's when I had surgery.
hmm.
And um and like a lot of other shit, you know, started happening. And like it just it kind of made me personally take a step back from music, because you've kind of seen me talk in some ways like I wanted to record maybe a couple of more albums, but like um I I had kind of almost said I was gonna stop at that point, but like I didn't want to creatively like force anything.
Yeah,
And then once I got in the right headspace, I felt it was a good time to start recording. And I think that's where I just kept it going. I kind of kept it going. And you know, I also want to credit you because I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like you kind of were patient through the whole process. And you know, I really appreciated that, man. I kind of want to let you know that.
oh man, come on, I knew what you was going through, so I would have been, I look like a butthole, you know what I'm saying? Driving them like, man, come on, man, let's go, man. You can't do that, man. People have stuff going on in their lives, and I, was understanding of that, and I didn't want to force you to put something out that would have been, lesser than, less than what we did. You know what I'm saying? This project to me sounds better than our first project, so. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be the other way around. So, couldn't do nothing but be patient. But man, I just want to say that this was a lot of these beats were very surprising to hear you on because of, you know, what we've done in the past and what I've heard from your catalog. So was that something that you decided to challenge yourself with? Well, like I said, we have a couple of drummers joints on here. We got a couple of hip hop sounding joints on here, you know what I'm saying? So was that something like you consciously did on your own to decide you was gonna go with that route, or like you just said, it was just something more that you were inspired by them?
Um, a lot of it kind of like um, it gave me some some vibes of like songs that I used to listen to kind of in my teens, like in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost kind of like one of the albums mentally that would like it would just be in my head and that I always wanted to kind of flow over. And I felt it was something different. Um, because I kind of like and if you've been following, like, meaning a lot of the viewers and listeners, if they've been following like a lot of my sound, they know like other than yourself, I've kind of been uh rapping over a lot of like bouncy down south, like West Coast beats type of vibe. And this was
Mm-hmm.
very different for me to work on creatively. And a lot of these different songs, like I had to really think about how I wanted my cadence and my flow based off of the beat or the tempo, because it was some different. Like I like to rap over a lot of like 90 to, I would say, or yeah, probably about 75 to 90 mostly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe if I'm up tempo about 144, 150 BPM. And I felt like these were some different tempos. So that's what kind of made me come up with a different cadence as far as how I'm a flow. Oh, you mentioned Let It Burn, for example. I had to really think about how I wanted my cadence to go for that one, because initially I wasn't satisfied with how I was delivering on a track. So
Mm-hmm.
there's couple of examples of that throughout the album. But yeah, it made me think about just how I wanted to approach it differently.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I respect it, bro. Like I said, it's a really dope project. I can't wait for folks to hear it out there, man.
Man, yeah, man. I think like once I get some ideas, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some visuals very soon. I'm headed to Vegas in a couple of weeks, in fact, for a Raiders game, and while I'm
Okay.
there, I might try to see if I can find a space to shoot while I'm there.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And if I'm successful, hopefully, yeah, because I can either edit myself or find somebody to do the editing. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Do you got a song in mind that would be good for a Vegas type of video? Just
I
off the top
think,
of your head.
well, I was thinking about finding a way to maybe do like It Is What It Is, like since that's the new single, or maybe like um It Is What It Is.
I feel like it is what it is. Sounds like it would have to be like a nighttime video. I see a nighttime video for that. Some shot at night, either in Vegas or where you at now. But I don't know, for some reason, I guess the sample makes me think of that song being shot at night for some reason.
Or maybe like One of a Kind.
Hmm.
Kind of dig
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, okay. That's got kind of a West Coast thing going to it a little bit. Okay,
Since
okay.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I'll keep you posted on what I come up with,
All right. All
man.
right.
And yeah, so what other plans, man, do you got for like the remainder of 2024? Like you working on some new material yourself?
Bro, September is gonna be big, like personally for me, because we got our thing, but also, I got my beat tape series one by one. This year is gonna be volume 5. And I floated a couple out to like some people up here in Chicago, just a couple of like, you know, samples of the album, and people are really messing with it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to folks hearing that. It should be out by the time this airs, it'll be out. And hopefully folks will be digging it. But that's on one by one volume 5. To me, I mean, it's I'm not one of those people that say my latest thing is always my best thing, but I will say that this is probably my best one by one beat tape that I've done. Probably my best beat tape, period. But definitely out of the 5 volumes, I will put this at number one for that. So that's going. We got our thing going. Um, I would like, you know, me and Ruff have been, throwing around some ideas on some things. What
Yeah.
I did is I sent him a folder of about 8 beats. And, I just like, yeah, man, we just should do something to this. Maybe if it's him rapping, if it's both of us rapping, or just something, some real different sounding type of stuff I was experimenting with. So maybe that. And also, not to put this out on air in front of all these folks watching us, but, I remember, last year we were talking about a J-Lib style album.
Yeah.
And, I've become more intrigued with the idea of doing that, you know what I mean? Because I do, listening to you, listen to the stuff you make, your beats. I do like those kind of, West Coast carefree kind of things that you put out. I really mess with them. I've never really tried to flow the beats like that, but I think that would be a challenge for myself personally to hop on a couple of beats like that and see what it sounds like before I decide to put it out. I would definitely like to, take a stab at that. But I'm like, I really dig those. Like your last beat tape that you did. I'm like, man, this is some really, really dope stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had like flows in my head. They weren't like words, but I just was imagining like flows to some of those tracks, you know what I'm saying? So maybe, one day the right set of beats will come my way and I will get inspired to do something like that.
Man, yeah, man, I got you, man. I'll never forget, man. I think one day you had posted a comment, a beat on one of my beats. You were saying the beat sound like you just beat a court case of some. Man,
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. And
Yeah.
every time I hear that vibe now, sometimes just driving, I just think of that shit and I start laughing. Man. But yeah, man, we gotta do that though, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
But other than that, yeah, that's probably about it as far as like the rest of this calendar year. So, like I said, nothing for sure. I got a couple. Now, I don't know if you do this with artists you work with, but sometimes have a bunch of songs that you like never. They're just kind of laying. You've done the songs, mixed them, mastered them, but they're just sitting on your computer.
yeah,
Saying either you waiting for the artist to do something or the timing just isn't right to put it out. But I got like a bunch of different singles I've done with, folks up here that I'm working with. But just kind of sitting on the computer, I'm waiting to see what they want to do with them. Some of the people I mentioned earlier, you know, in the interview. So maybe something will happen with those joints before the year's up.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like you've been working hard, man, and any
Yeah.
way that I can help you, with any of your releases or whatever, you need a verse here and there. Even though I said after a couple of more projects, I'm gonna kind of take a back seat to rapping, but you
Hmm.
need a song here and there. I got you.
Oh man, I appreciate that, my bro. Appreciate it for real.
Man, no problem at
Mhm.
all. No problem at all, man. Now, like, it's about to be football season, and your Chicago Bears are looking pretty nice, man. How you feel about them?
Well, they got the national spotlight with that Hard Knock show, so like everybody's talking about him, but it's still a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
Regardless of all the stuff they've done, they've built this really, really good team around him. DeAndre Swift is dope. Allen, they got great receivers. The defense is even better than it was last year, pretty good last year. Still be better, but it's still a rookie quarterback. And we I know what Stroud did last year, what some other rookies have done lately, but they won 7 games last year with a supposed somebody at quarterback that wasn't as good as he should have been and a less than stellar offense. And they still went 7-10. So I personally think anything less than that is a disappointment, even with the rookie quarterback. But you don't, at the same time, you don't know what you're gonna get from a rookie with all these weapons he's got around him.
Yeah.
You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but they got to be better than 7-10 though.
It's gonna be tough, I think, because the Lions, I think, gonna still be up. You know, they just played in the NFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay just made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I
Minnesota
think,
has injury problems, so that could
oh
be a couple
yeah,
of wins right there.
that's gonna be some wins right there. They
Yeah.
need to get Justin Jefferson out of there. I mean, somebody needs to go and get him. But
Yeah.
I think y'all got a shot. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Y'all
How you
play
feel
the.
about your boys? You
I
play the
think
Cow?
I was about to. Y'all don't play the Cowboys this year.
I don't know. I don't think they on the schedule. I know your love for them, so I know you would
You
be
know,
counting that as a win for
man.
us too.
you know, I indulge in that pain. I indulge.
What about the silver and black, man? What y'all looking like this year? Y'all got the new coach pulling up in sports cars and stuff, man.
Yeah.
So, can't
Man,
hate on that.
I like I think see at the end of last year, or really when Antonio Pierce took over at the beginning of November, they went 5-4 the rest of the way.
Mhm.
And I thought had not Josh McDaniels like coached the team into the ground in the first half of the season, they might have had a chance to make the playoffs. I say that
Mhm.
to say I like what they did towards the end of the year, and I hope they can carry that momentum into this year. Because they pretty much beat everybody in the division. They lost to the Chargers once and the Chiefs once, but other than that, they beat everybody else in the division. And I think if we
Man, the
can,
way they beat Kansas City on Christmas, man, it was hard for me to see them winning the Super Bowl. The way
yeah,
the Raiders beat them on Christmas, I'm like, man, they beating the brakes off these dudes.
man, I think this year, I could see them maybe ceiling being 10 wins, floor being 7 or 8 wins.
Okay,
Um, it's just a lot's going to really depend on the quarterback play. We got Gardner Minshew. Um,
underrated.
yeah, yeah, underrated. He's gonna get an opportunity to finally be the guy. So we're gonna see what he can do, and he got some weapons. So he never really got a chance to play like with Devontae and Jacoby Myers, and we got Brock Bowers, the kid from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And actually we got the Bears' old offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. Uh,
Well, good luck with that, man. But like I said, maybe he didn't know how to use Fields. I'm gonna go with that. But maybe with a less mobile quarterback, it'll probably be easier for him because he screwed Fields up, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, he got a tie to Adams. Apparently he was the quarterback coach in Green Bay when Adams was
mhm.
there. So Adams is kind of familiar with his play calling. So we'll see. We'll see. And then Marvin Lewis is also one of the assistants with the team. So
Oh wow,
he's gonna kind of have a hand in the offense as well. So
okay,
we'll kind of
okay.
see about that. But yeah, going to a game in a couple of weeks. We'll see how that turns out. Looking forward to that as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, Vegas is coming up as far as that scene. They got the A's coming out there in a couple of years. When I was out there, I was out in Vegas, what, about a year or so ago, and riding past, where the Raiders play. I was like,
Oh
man, that's
yeah,
a nice place, you know what I'm saying?
man.
Yeah.
I think I remember when went out there. Like it was kind of after I went out there maybe a couple years
Yep.
ago. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, man.
Yep.
We'll see what's good, man. We'll see what's good, man. Where can our listeners follow you at?
And y'all can follow me on TikTok. I know that's the thing. I'm gonna start with that. And on Ruqone Beats, Ruqone Beats. I try to have different content on each platform now. I'm going that way. So on TikTok, you're gonna see like beat breakdowns, that type of stuff, for like promoting new projects like this project that we got coming out now, Different Speed 2. You see me on Instagram, you're gonna see more like daily life type stuff, but like also promoting projects. That's gonna be Ruqone, just Ruqone straight up, Ruqone. You see me on YouTube at Ruqone again. I'm still rebuilding that page. I kind of decided to do some different things. I'm kind of moving all my remix content to Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I'm gonna maybe pop a couple of remixes every now and then on YouTube, but I'm gonna make my YouTube more about original stuff that I'm doing with artists like you, and artists like myself, doing stuff with myself. Also, like I said, my remix stuff is gonna be more towards Bandcamp now, along with original projects that I'm only involved in on my own. If I'm just rapping and producing or just like making beat tapes, you're gonna be able to find those on Bandcamp and maybe another platform here soon. I've been looking at. I hear Even is pretty good, so I'm digging deeper into that to see what's going on with that before I make that move.
Man, go ahead and check out some of Ruqone other projects that he has, and also check out At a Different Speed Part 2, available on all streaming platforms, wherever you get your music. Show some support. If you listen to the album, please tag us in it on one of those social platforms. In fact, he gave you his socials. You could also follow me on Instagram at D._major music. Same thing on Threads as well as TikTok. And then if you use X or Twitter, it's going to be D.mme. Go ahead, subscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine. And we appreciate you if you made it this far in this podcast for the Major Music Lounge and At a Different Speed Part 2. And it's been Dee Dot and Ruqone, and we are out.
Exhale the smoke out the window as I ride. Take my L's like a champ if I know I tried. When I slide, my mind ventures to another place. Don't cop me out, cards in hand, I'm gonna play the ace. Not the face, pro wrestling, I'm gonna be the heel. Turn up when I need to, but I mostly chill. Fuck the skill, if you have that without the hustle. Don't drop music, but these rappers think they Simmons Russell. Flex the muscle off my venture, steady talking loud. You quit making music, really show us what you bout. In and out, and I'm not talking restaurants. Attend sport events with the homies, just a stunt. On the hunt, like a team competing for the playoffs. Somebody else working while you taking days